What is going on, you guys? Bastion YGO here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 budget deck profiles for the current Yu-Gi-Oh! Format. Now, without a ban list coming up in the past, now it's been 4 whole months that we have not had a ban list, not had a change in scenery around here. What I will say is that we have had a change of formats, as in, you know, after Techno Masters came out, Runic started coming into play, Power of the Elements introduced the 2 best decks of the current format, of course, Sprite and Tearlament, which has been a really nice change of pace from the kind of outdated Sword Soul format that we were in before. Brandon Despia again is a good deck, still is a good deck, but it got to the point where it's a little bit boring at certain points. So I really like the overall freshness that the Power of the Elements set gave the overall meta, which is kind of cool. But while we are waiting for that new ban list, guys, we can go ahead and sit around and look at the brand new top 5 best decks of 2022, currently in September still. So it's, again, before ban list, if it comes out, you know, it is what it is. I pretty much feel like I have to say that in most videos, just in case, to be safe. But what is really interesting is that the 2022 Mega Tins, the Pharaoh of the Gods, or Pharaoh's Gods, Tins, whatever the actual official name is, has some amazing reprints. It reprinted pretty much every single hand trap known to existence. It reprinted Nibiru, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell, Ash Blossom. It reprinted some other really key staple cards like Lightning Storm, Forbidden Droplet, Crossout Designator. I mean, Pot of Prosperity, everything's been reprinted, which gives us so much more flexibility as far as the budget options goes. So without further ado, guys, this has been a very, very exciting. Let's go ahead and partake in, but we're going to start off with number 5. Coming off of a YCS Niagara win, we have the Exo Sister archetype, guys. So Exo Sister is a phenomenal archetype that actually works really, really well as a fantastic anti-meta option as well for the current format. With so many decks relying on the graveyard, especially things like Tearlaments, which are like very exclusively on the graveyard. Sprites surprisingly do as well. Well, not surprisingly at this point, but they do heavily rely on their overall grind game and overall making their big boards with their graveyard. Now, a way that people have seen to play around this with Sprites, mixing it with Runics. Runic tends to be pretty much the answer to everything at this point, which Runic, by the way, is not a budget deck whatsoever, because you definitely are going to need, if you're going to play the pure version of Runics, you're going to need at least 3 copies of the Field Spell, which at least will run you $60 for the full set, which is already above our budget price range, and then other cards. And then if you want to play the actual full Runics, you have to get Runic Tips, which are 30 to 40 each. So Runics is not budget whatsoever currently, only because of those 2 cards. So I just want to go ahead and get that out the way. Well, it seems to be the main way that people are playing around the graveyard, but with not a consensus best option to play Sprites and Tearlaments, people are still going to be playing Live Twin Sprite, people are going to be playing Danger Tearlaments, Punk Tearlaments, but all these other types of varieties do also rely on the graveyard, which makes Exo Sister that much of a better deck, because not only do the Exo Sisters counter when your opponent is moving cards out of the graveyard, but Exo Sister Martha gives you the opportunity for you to be able to go ahead and remove cards yourself, and then be able to go ahead and gain off your effects from there as well. So it's a fantastic, I want to say more of a control deck, but it is a fantastic control deck, and a really, really budget option too. It's actually going to be probably the most expensive of the overall 5 budget decks I'm going to show on this list for you guys. So it's actually really cool to see. I think the most expensive cards in here are probably Exo Sister Martha, which is anywhere between $12 to $13 at the moment, and probably Exo Sister Pax, which again is in the $12 to $13 range. Everything else should be nothing more than $5-6 here and there. So a very, very affordable deck to get to go ahead and pick up. So I would definitely recommend, if this is going to be, if you're either fresh getting into the game, or if something that you want to go ahead and a deck that you want to invest in, and also still be able to compete at a very, very high competitive level, and be able to go ahead and match up with all the high tier meta decks, this is definitely going to be one of the best decks for you. Number 4 on our list, guys, we have MathMech. So MathMech has consistently been topping top 32, top 16, top 8, a whole bunch of different tournaments, not just YCSs, but regionals, national tournaments here and there. There's national tournaments that we in the States do not really pay attention to, things like the South American regionals, across the pond regionals, things like that. It's things that we don't really pay too much attention to, but MathMech has been doing quite a bit of work all across the board. Maybe not getting first place, but I don't think it's getting the attention that it rightfully deserves, just because the deck can well, first of all, it's not really a deck that you naturally will plan around. Normally you're gonna play around. What are things you're gonna play around? You're gonna play around Tearlament, the Sprites, the Punks. You're gonna play around maybe Dragon Link as well. I mean, that's a really good deck still as well. You're gonna play around like the Eldritch matchup, back row matchup, Fluandrees matchups, things like that. So these are all decks you like to take into consideration. Mathmech is not necessarily at the very top of your list. Primarily, you're gonna be focused around having the out to Mystic Mine as well. So all these things kind of play into a factor where Mathmech kind of goes under the radar and starts sneaking up on people here and there. So I think it's really, really cool how well this deck has just pretty much flipped 180 with the release of the Mathmech Circular. Has pretty much turned this deck completely around to where it's a absolute menace of a deck. And every single card in the entire deck is like cents. It's actually crazy. I think maybe Edition or Sigma are like $4 or $5 each, but the overall deck I'm pretty sure you can build it between 50 and 60 bucks, max 70. So overall, I think the deck is extremely good, extremely consistent, very, very budget friendly, and I don't think many people planned for it, which means you're gonna be catching a lot of people off guard, because I honestly still do not think that a lot of people know truly what Mathmech is capable of. So make sure you do your research, watch your deck profiles, watch your combo videos, things like that. And if something you guys want to see for Mathmech, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll get that for you guys as soon as possible. Coming up at number 3 on our list, guys, we have a deck that I don't think needs any much introduction. We have the most fun deck to play in the entire format. We have Fluandrees, guys. Yes, Fluandrees. Obviously, you know, didn't see that one coming. So with the release of the Megatins, we actually have access to Dimension Shifter, and now going for I think $2 a piece, which is actually so crazy to even think about. I mean, this card used to be $2, and then they realized, oh, this card is actually really good in Fluandrees, and it's really good in Exo Sister, and the card shot up to like $15-$20 each. But with the reprints of the Megatins, right now you can pick up a playset for $5 to $6 for the full set. If you're able to go ahead and pick it up at a local card shop, they might be able to give you a deal on that one. But don't take my word for it. It's just what, you know, depending on how good a relationship you have with anyone, if you have one of your buddies, might pull it, whatever it might be. Regardless, this is a extremely budget friendly deck. I mean, all the cards are supers and rares and commons, and the whole deck is like 10 cents essentially. Even M-Pen is like, I think it's like $5, maybe $10 card at most. Maybe you need to play 2 of them. I actually have a really cool Fluandrees deck profile I'm working on right now, but essentially you don't need Pot Prosperity, even though it was just reprinted, so you do have access to that now. You can just play Extravagance and Duality and still have a lot of success with this deck overall. Yes, it's not going to be as consistent as the Prosperity build would, but just take out the Prosperity, put in Extravagance, so you already have the capability to play a top tier deck in the entire format. With a budget of maybe 50-60 bucks, you can build the entire deck. And if Fluandrees has a proven track record to be a very annoying deck to play against. Heck, it can main Mystic Mine, which is the best card of the format by far. I don't care what you tell me. I'm pretty sure it's a natural consensus on that one. Mystic Mine is the best card in the entire game at the moment. Also the most annoying and most cancerous card, but sometimes unfortunately those things go hand in hand. So overall, I think Fluandrees is a phenomenal deck. I think if you're not playing Fluandrees, you're definitely going to be playing the second number 2 deck on this list I have for you guys. Both equally, I want to say, control combo decks. The next one's going to be a little more of a control deck than a combo deck, but still a deck that can definitely control the field overall with just one card is absolutely insane. So that is going to be my number 3 pick, guys. Now on to number 2. Alright guys, so I think we pretty much gotten to the point where there's no budget list that can be completed, no top tier budget list that can be completed without including this deck. Of course, we have Eldritch at number 2. So I was looking through potential budget decks to go ahead and build for you guys, things like that, because I enjoy building more budget options as of now, just because it's a little more freeing besides seeing the same decks over and over again. So I was actually thinking, I've never built an IRL like Eldritch deck, so I was like, okay, well, let me look at the cards. I picked up the entire deck for like $25. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Like the entire everything, like all Golden Lords, play sets of everything, even cards I didn't need, I picked them up just in case. Like, this deck is actually super budget. I mean, and the extract does not really even matter. I mean, as long as you got your Gustav Maxis, your Super Doras, things like that, which are like cents. And then you have 3 copies of Elder Entity Ints, you are good. You're more than just fine to go ahead and take on the world at that point. And the thing with that is that, yes, Skill Drain is probably going to be the most expensive card that you need, which is now like a $15 card at most. You can get a playset for like $45, which is really not bad at all. But I will say for you more budget players, I do have a really fun list coming up for you guys this upcoming week, or depending on when this video goes up, it might even be up tomorrow or the next day, that you don't even need skill to go ahead and play this deck. I'm going to say that right now. The deck can be very easily built for like 40 bucks. That's 4 $10 bills, that's 8 $5 bills. You can build the entire deck. Yes, I know how math works. I know you know how math works now. So overall, this deck is extremely consistent, extremely budget friendly. It can control the entire board. I mean, it's a good way to learn Yu-Gi-Oh overall, because you don't have to worry about big combos, things like that. You can just set 5, pass, and then you just have to learn how to be reactive and learn. It helps you learn more of what other decks do, because you have to understand how other decks go about their plays to know where the bottlenecks are, where in their combos, where to hit, what to hit, and when to hit it is all very important question you should be asking yourself if you're going to be playing a reactive control deck like Eldritch, where you pretty much your turn 1 board is going to be set 5 pass, or set 4 pass, or set 3 pass if you like have Golden Lords in your hand, 2 Golden Lords in your hand. So that's something you definitely want to go ahead and take into consideration when playing a deck like this. But overall, I think the deck is, of course, has the highest ceiling of any budget deck at the current moment that I've mentioned so far. And the only reason it's not number 1 is because number 1 is just a cancerous deck, and it should not exist whatsoever. But unfortunately, we do have to have a winner to our budget list. Alright guys, so we're going to wind down this list with the winner of our top 5 budget deck profiles, or budget decks of the format that we're doing. You guys know what I'm trying to say. The number 1 best budget deck of the current format is Mystic Mind Burn, unfortunately. Yes, it's a very anticlimactic way to end the list, but unfortunately, realistically guys, Mystic Mind Burn, it won YCS Rio, which was not a fluke. I mean, you have a lot of top tier duelists that went out there as well. We have, I believe, Jesse Cotton, Team Sam went out there, some really big YouTubers. Yassine went out there, I believe, Triff. So you have some of the biggest names in the Yu-Gi-Oh community out there, and Mystic Mind Burn won the entire event. Like, it's absolutely crazy that we've gotten to that level. So that's something that we gotta take into consideration as well. I mean, overall, it's one of the largest YCSs, I believe, that has come about, except for YCS Europe, or the European YCS, however you want to say that. But Mystic Mind Burn takes a very simple concept and just exploits it. And the concept is that Mystic Mind, as I've said before, is the best card in the current game. It's that healthy? No, it's not healthy at all. But mixing it with Cauldron of the Old Man, I believe he played, and Ojama Duo, and Ojama Trio, and Rivalry of the Warlords, which is just an insane combo I didn't even think about. It's something that is actually kind of disgusting. So essentially what the deck does is you're pretty much going to be stunning your opponent, and you use Cauldron of the Old Man to continuously burn your opponent, while the Ojama cards are pretty much just to block your opponent's zones to prevent your opponent from playing. So overall, I mean, the most expensive card in your deck is going to be Mystic Mind, which I think is right now like a $5 super. If I'm not mistaken, it might be less at this point, because I don't think anyone willingly wants to play that card because it makes the game more fun. If you're gonna be playing Mystic Mind because you want to win, and that is your main focus, or you just have, you know, maybe that's your version of having fun, is to just make everyone else not want to play the game, make everyone else miserable, which, if that's the way you like to think, then you and I can be best friends. But overall, Mystic Mind Burn, guys, let's not beat around the bush here. It's realistically just the overall best deck. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a deck list of YCS Reno champion right over here for you guys, so you guys can get a better understanding of what the deck should look like, what it does, what it is. So guys, that's pretty much gonna be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What are your favorite budget decks that I might have missed? I know some honorable mentions are gonna go to Virtual World. Salamangreats is another really good one as well. But if I missed one and it's your favorite deck, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below, and maybe we'll cover it in a future video. But for now, guys, go ahead and leave a like down below, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.